So, 안녕하세요. I'm sweating, been working out and still working out. So, what exactly am I watching now? Vicenza. I'm going to go through that the second time. But meanwhile, we have mine, which is now becoming something else. You can't really tell until it's over, but it's getting far more interesting. So that means probably doesn't. It begins as a spectacularly affluent family. It's going on about their business. Huh? Okay. Say things like dinners, where there's a servant to each person, and if there are 12 people, so you're expecting like 12 servants, even more, serving. Well, when you go through the gate, there are people bowing. That still happens in the world. The respect in Asia is different. People bow to show respect, which I guess is okay. There has to be a pecking order, and pecking order just shows appreciation for your higher-ups. Maybe they're working harder, and as they earn, you earn. So why not show them appreciation? Or they could be your parents. So there's a lot of respect and social protocol, which is good. So you see all that, and it's really phenomenal. I mean, the bowing when the car comes by, and I think mostly with their faces turned away, backs to the car, and face totally not looking. So you're not supposed to eavesdrop. Of course, they're the contracts you have to sign, high secrecy to say. But what's mine all about? It's about this family. Is it dysfunctional? Really, is it dysfunctional? It is very dysfunctional. You soon come to understand that there is a problem here. People are hiring a nanny and firing servants left, right, and center, and nannies come in, and then the nanny turns to be so attached to the child. You'd think she's just doing her job as she claims. She likes the child, she likes children she brings up, and you think, yeah, she's a child worker. She's dedicated to her proteges. That is all fine until it becomes evident that she's encouraging the child to keep secrets from the mother. And then you learn that there is actually a problem here. That's not the real mother. Oh, well, what's the real mother? She's the real mother. She's unmothering him, but it's not the birth mother. The child has been with us 6 years. It's now 8, so there are little whispers here and there, and I think there's a whisper in the school. And when it comes to sorting out that whisper, the nanny is far more passionate than the real mother. I mean, we have all by now learned that that's not the birth mother of that child. You see, the concept of real mother must really be updated. Because indeed, some people's parents die when they're born. Some people are adopted. For whatever reason, somebody's real mother is the person who brought them up, who loves them and cares for them. So I agree entirely that the real mother is the lady who's been there for that child since it was 18 months. But there are so many subplots here. There is the greed running through the family. There is a vault underneath. There's so much riches you can't even believe. There's so much riches that people play games of watching their favorite sport. The lead male character here seems to have one passion, watching other people beat themselves to pulp, for which he carries a bag of 50,000 won. I must find out what 50,000 won is. That's a lot of money, isn't it? And he's carrying words and words of them in a rucksack, full rucksack, and giving people just so he can watch a few moments of them getting bloody. You have to wonder what his mind is all about. Soon enough, we learn that this nanny is not, this is the spoiler alert review. You learn that this nanny is not just your usual nanny. Should we just leave that out? And she has vested interest and goes on to have more vested interest in the child. Is it in the man? Is it in riches? You find out. But there's this figure lurking around, and I'm always wondering. Catholic Nan, who seems like a counselor as well, but I don't know, from the very beginning she makes me feel weird. I mean, her smile is just 2 megawatt. She looks all gentle and loving, but it looks like she always has a hidden agenda. And as truth be told, she's the narrator of this whole series, mine. She's the narrator, so it's a series filmed almost, you have to get this very quickly. It's with hindsight. From the very beginning, you're told that there's a murder. Okay? Your questions will be who murdered who and for what. But there's a lot of, enough of envy and fighting for positions. Who will be the chairman? And there is the crazy matriarch of the family. Is she crazy, or is she just a spoiled, rich woman? Young ones are now old and still self-entitled. You have to find out. But she runs even at her peacock, a beautiful bird. I've never seen such a beautiful peacock, to be quite frank. This is a glorious peacock, and it's a living peacock. But she wants the peacock to spread its wings all the time and to acknowledge her. Look at her, it does nothing of the sort. In fact, now I've reached episode 10, because this is an ongoing thing, and I'm watching 11 as well, where now there is a trial to sort out the child. There's a divorce coming up in the family. And we know there's a death coming up. Somebody was forced into alcohol rehab, all those kind of things. It's a very interesting thing, but what you really do notice is affluence. Money is absolutely not the issue for anybody. When you find the young hare who is falling in love, one thing about this particular series is almost everybody's mother is not the mother they are with. At least two, the younger hares, the youngest who we're talking about, is it Hajun? We now know his birth mother is somebody else. And then the other boy also, I don't know where his birth mother is. And it seems like this all began with this nun. That's one thing. It's just watched episode 11. The nun. I'm going to blame it all on the nun. Can you believe it? You'd think she was the force of good here, but I'm suspicious and I'm quick to pick up. I believe the nun is a problem here. If otherwise, you just say so down below. I believe the nun is the problem. I believe her confession that she said she made, and it turns out to be she was not a nun because of her original calling as a young person. She became a nun as a form of refuge. What was she running away from? What was she hiding from? What sent her? What do they call the convent? Yeah, I was brought up by nuns. I went to boarding school, so I was taught by nuns, brought up by nuns. Had to wake up at 5 actually. So you were in church at 6, and you were a child. Wake up early in the morning and go to church, and then there were all the other prayers before eating, prayer before class, prayer after class. But it taught discipline a lot. This is just a deviation. This convent lady, the sister, you'd think she was lovely, but some of her advice just shows that she's more of this earth than really her head in the clouds with a God up there telling people thou shalt not sin all the time or thou shalt do this exactly. She's not that kind of person. She has Bible reading studies and all of the people I see her with are the rich. Maybe she has time for the other poor. I think she's actually running an institution or some kind of sanctuary for single parents, as in women. So maybe that's why she knows exactly what's going on in that family. But she seems and is appearing, according to me, you can choose. You can go and say the lead character just became, he's so deviant. He's actually absolutely deviant. When he's annoyed, I mean, people who are entitled, I mean, this is the problem, this is the infestation, and this is the scourge we're facing in society. Children who are not disciplined, oh well, talk about I have my own. Actually, this scourge of being entitled, it's absolutely the scourge of self-entitled kids. That's what these hairs are. I mean, the guy can do whatever he likes. He feels if he doesn't get his way, he has to take it out on somebody. I mean, he almost kills the nanny in the process. Or was he just joking? Because later you find the nanny also threatening him back, so I'm just confused. But this is a series that is growing on me. It's actually getting better and better. Mine is on another level. There's not even bickering as such. There's just tantrums thrown by a mother and her daughter, about the peacock, about who has what, about fresh baked bread, about all kind of things. I mean, the world of the rich. But if this story is just going to hinge on people revenging on the main character, it seems like this is all a big plot, and I'm thinking, what has he done entirely to deserve it? I mean, somebody lost their baby, and I'm thinking, you decided to prioritize other people's babies. I mean, you can adopt, you can bring up a child and be so connected, and this is the strange thing. But you were told not to risk your own, and that was the only pregnancy you had. So good. But this just shows you money motivates, and when people don't have a lot of things to fight against, I guess revenge could be a motivation, could be a purpose. Because if you had a daily living to make, would you really be bothered? You could probably just get up, pack your bags, and leave. You don't have to teach nobody such an extreme lesson that might cost you your own life, I guess, or maybe cost somebody you love their life, or bring more complications to your life. This is how some rich people get themselves in jail when they didn't need to. You already had the money, then you go complicate your life with pettiness. You see what I mean? Mine. Go watch it. A story about a very affluent family. If we suspend belief and reality and think this was a real Korea, then this could be the #1 family. They're so rich. So rich such that they can suppress the press and nobody dare print anything. And I didn't know going to Seoul University. I mean, I'm sure I'm not going to top unis, to Russell Group. I guess that means that you know everybody else. And if you keep in touch, you can exert the kind of influence these guys. So this mine is about a very affluent family with extensive levels of influence. wherein now the father collapses. Why he collapses, I even seem not to remember, because this is it. You pay more greater detail as the series unfolds. But he collapses and is in a coma. Anybody could think he would die. And the two sons who should inherit. But lo and behold, the one who would inherit, these are the subplots, did not. He has his own agenda. Let his brother take temporary chairmanship. And you find out he has his own deal is struck. But the one who led his older brother is somebody who likes to drink, womanizes. He's married to a lady who actually prefers women, or is in love with a woman. So his family life is actually at a standstill. Even the child they have between themselves is not their child, biological child. So as I said, it's a very dysfunctional family. A drunk person, people in love with others, a womanizer, somebody in love with somebody else. And that's the relationship. And because of money, they keep it all within the family. That's another plot there. Then you have children being forced to go and study abroad. One comes home, can't even sleep in his comfortable bed. This is the so-called spoiler alert review. Can't sleep in his bed, ends up sleeping in the maid's bed, and you can guess what happens. Does he fall in love? Does he sleep with her? Do they end together? These are all the questions we can ask, legitimately, moreover. And then you have the crazy owner of the matriarch of the family. All she does is throw tantrums and so self-entitled. At this late stage of her life, of course, she can hire a vocal coach. But if you talk of the worst kind of singing, then you have to give her an Oscar, a Grammy. She really is absolutely, you can't train her voice, but she tries. It's part of her spare time or extra activities. Then she indulges herself with a freshly baked bread every day, which she eats while walking around the mansion. I mean, this is such big, it's not even a house, it's a compound that you need these little cars, or what do you call them, wagons. It's like when you're in an amusement park, you can hop on and hop out. So this is how people are even actually taken from the gate, if I am to say. If they don't want to come close to the house, from the garage to the main house, just have to hop on a ride. Can you imagine? There's such a group of servants, there's so many of them. Mostly ladies, except maybe one male servant I've seen, the caretaker. The rest are ladies who cook fresh-made foods, gourmet foods, and obviously there's the chef. So this is an extremely affluent family. I mean, the clothes are spectacular, the house itself is just, and the camera pans in from above, and then there's almost like a forest. There is a forest around that house, so it's an exclusive area. Living life to the fullest. And the story arc, or the main story, is about her son, the youngest son in the family, who is being raised by a lady who is not his mother, who is not his birth mother. I mean, if you're watching mine, you have to be very careful whether it's real mother, birth mother. She's the real mother.